Hi, I'm Andy,
I'm Wendy.
and we're Outdoor Whiskey Life. And again, today we are inside. It is ridiculously hot.
So hot.
That we just decided to do it in a nice, cool place where we can sit around and drink whiskey and not sweat, and sweat a lot just by sitting outside. We are continuing on the journey of Canadian whiskey.
We are.
We have selected a nice whiskey called Ellington Reserve. It's not much about this, but Ellington Reserve, aged 8 years. Premium port whiskey, a Canadian tradition, it says on the bottom. Finely distilled and aged to perfection in charred oak barrels for 8 years. This aging produces a mellow, smooth flavor for the discerning whiskey connoisseurs. Okay.
And they don't always have the amount of years on Canadian, right? So
Yeah, they don't, a lot of times they don't have an age statement. This one does, which is 8 years. And the only thing that really means is the youngest whiskey that's in here is at least 8 years old. If not all the different blends that they put in there are 8 years. But I did learn something, I learned something from Wendy. She was telling me about coloring.
So in Canadian whiskey, it's allowed to put artificial coloring and flavor in there. And that's kind of the big thing about why it's looked down upon, of course. Because you don't want to really have that in your whiskey, and it's not allowed here. So, but in Canada, it's okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that the barrels that they're using would make the color, but I guess maybe colder weather doesn't do very well with oak. I don't know. I have no idea.
And maybe the whiskey they ship over here is just kind of their low end, and
this wasn't that expensive.
No.
I mean, this was like $15, $20. It's not really your top end stuff. But we've been fooled before. Thinking cheap whiskey is not good whiskey.
It's not always the case.
That's never the case.
Yeah.
Each person has their own taste and flavor profile.
Yeah.
So a cheap whiskey to you and me could be, I think it tastes like crap. You think it loves it. You could think that you love, $10 bottle of whiskey. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Everybody has different taste buds, and everyone drinks their whiskey differently. So just, enjoy it the way you like it, the way you want it. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. You just drink it the way you like it. Let's
try it.
Let's crack it open and see what happens here. It is a twist off.
Yep.
Naturally.
Does not really surprise me.
No, it doesn't. Let's see here. It's definitely dark, like an 8-year would be.
Darker, in color, especially than the last one.
Give a little bit more. Always.
Okay, I'll drink it.
So, let's see here. It's definitely dark. I can see that being 8 years in a barrel. Now, whether or not they put more into it by coloring it, making it a darker color, I'm not 100% sure. So right off the bat, I get like an ethanol alcohol burn smell.
Fingernail polish remover.
Yeah, nail polish remover.
Unfortunately. It's not
a very...
the greatest smell.
There's a little bit of caramel in there. I can kind of smell a little bit, like just aerating it a little bit. I wouldn't stick your whole nose, but just a little. Just a little bit. I wouldn't just shove it right in there.
Yeah.
May make yourself cry.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't light a match, I guess, right? Yeah, just a little bit of
I'm not into the smell.
caramel.
I mean, it's fingernail polish remover.
Yeah, it is kind of smelling. All right, let's
You gonna try it? Okay.
Might as well. a little bit more to it than I thought.
I was thinking there wasn't a whole lot to it.
Well, there's more than just an alcohol burn.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely get the sense of like the alcohol really, really prevalent up front.
There's not a whole lot of other flavors.
It changes a little bit, but not. Man, hold on. Let's try to see.
There's a little spice.
Yeah, it's a lot of like ethanol alcohol.
It is.
Nail polish remover that almost like that smell taste to it. A little bit of you get a little bit of like a peppercorn spice of some sort or some type of spice to the end.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot to this. I mean, it doesn't tell me what the mash bill is, but from what I think I can determine from other people and what, kind of the flavor profile, this is probably more based off of a rye.
Okay.
I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Which a lot of Canadian whiskeys are rye.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Canadian whiskey is synonymous to like a rye whiskey.
Okay.
So most of the time, a long time ago, Canadian whiskey was rye whiskey. That was their build. Mm-hmm. That was their mash build. Mainly it was rye whiskey that gave it that little spice, the kick that American whiskeys didn't have. So the fact that, everyone assumed and associated rye with Canadian whiskey, and it just probably pushes that a little bit more to where there are, spicier, darker, not as sweet, like corn but mash builds. It's definitely not sweet, I can say that. It's definitely more spicy or
I'm smelling a little bit of caramel now, or something a little
just
sweet
a little
at the front.
Yeah. When you smell it, it's a little bit different, so.
Definitely my favorite.
No, it's not. I mean, this would be a good one just to have, maybe to mix.
I don't know. I feel like there's better ones to mix. Like, right?
But for $15 though.
But I feel like there's other ones that are $15 that I would rather buy than this one.
Okay, I can see that. All right. Canadian whiskeys though, or rye whiskey?
Both.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Never mind. Stand corrected. So not a lot. This Ellington's Reserve is not a very good reserve. Not for 8 years.
No, I was expecting more.
Okay.
I was expecting a lot more. I mean, you definitely would not put this in anything where, like, an old fashioned or anything like that, where it's like up front.
I wouldn't put that in an old
I would
fashioned.
try to mask the flavor.
I literally
I wouldn't want to buy that then.
but that's the thing. I would use this for like making like, I would use this with Coke. Mix it with the Coke.
Yeah.
I'd mix it with like maybe a fruity drink to try to, hide this and make, get someone who's never had whiskey or someone who doesn't really drink alcohol, doesn't like the alcohol burn. You could definitely easily mix this into something and they wouldn't even know because it would disappear so quickly. There's not a lot of involvement.
I feel like there's a lot of other options out there under 20 bucks.
I'm sure there is, definitely. It was hard to find stuff on this as well. I think this is another one of the Total Wine and More, like their private labeling. There's a whole different variety of these.
Yeah, so, there's apple and peach and salted caramel, I think. I mean, I think you would have to have that stuff to kind of mask this flavor.
Yeah, and even they say that this is better than their basic one, which that's not saying very much, really, let's be honest with you.
I just had more high hopes for it,
I feel like the one we had last time, the Old Point, actually had a better flavor profile than this did, and it was only 4 years, half the age statement.
And it smelled better.
So maybe this one is like your true definition of this is what happens when you put an age statement, you add coloring to it. Because they had coloring, they really didn't add any flavor profile to it, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what they mean by legs. Look at the legs on this, on whiskeys. I'm assuming that that's the oils in the wood.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really
Like
taste an oily wood. Do you?
No.
No. I mean, it smells, now that it's been sitting out for a while,
It's a little sweeter.
it's definitely got a better smell to it, but the taste is definitely not the same. It's still that just kind of a plain taste.
There's not enough there.
No. Leaves your palate relatively short.
Yeah.
Not a lot of finish on it.
No.
It's peppery. You know, some people say that, you know, they can taste a little bit of. I taste no caramel in this. I smell the caramel.
I smell it a little bit.
But I do not taste caramel. No way.
No.
No. So, yeah, I don't. This is probably not a good buy. I would not recommend it.
Yeah.
Again, I think this is one of the younger ones that I bought when I was trying to build up a collection. As you can see, it's not very often drank.
I think we tried it and that was it.
I think there is a reason why for that. We have much better stuff, even in Canadian whiskey.
Yeah.
So, but I will say that, you know, at first when we had Crown Royal the first time, we didn't like it that much.
That's true.
But the more we drank it, the more we liked it. This, still don't like it at all. I mean, I'm not even remotely close to saying that. Yeah, I think I could take. No, I still don't like it.
Yeah. No, I'll pass on this one.
Okay, so
Okay.
down on
You know.
that one.
Yeah.
But you know, you still want to try
Yeah.
as many whiskeys as you can.
Yeah.
Not just because we don't like it doesn't mean you don't like it. Everyone's flavor profile is different. Everyone's taste buds are different, and they change and manipulate as you go through the process of drinking and trying new things. So, yeah, we're definitely on this Canadian whiskey kick.
Mm-hmm.
We've got about 2 or 3 more to do.
Okay. And then we'll do a flight.
And then we'll do a flight a little bit later on after that of
Woo-hoo.
determining which whiskeys,
Our
which
favorite.
Canadian whiskey is our favorite.
Yeah.
There'll be blind flights, so we won't have any idea what we're tasting. The other person will, so Wendy will know mine, I'll know Wendy's, and we'll kind of break it down and kind of go through the process of each whiskey and what we like about it and what we don't like about it.
Yeah.
And
It's
you know,
fun.
some of them we may know immediately what it is, some we may not.
Yeah.
So we'll determine what we think we like the best is, and a lot of times it does surprise us.
Yeah.
So,
It often does. It won't be this one, I can tell you that.
probably not. Although it may. You never know. You never know what happens. So, if you like our video, please subscribe.
Yes.
You have any comments down below, just leave them.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from you. Again, we are Outdoor Whiskey Life. I'm Andy,
I'm Wendy.
and thank you.
Yes.